Straight ahead on Law&Crime Daily, we're taking a closer look at the moments following the deadly Rush shooting.
My understanding, you were in the room when the lady, when someone was shot?
Holding the gun, yeah.
But first, the defamation suit of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
Ms. Heard was uncooperative. She wouldn't say anything.
Hear firsthand account from the officers who arrived to the alleged scene of domestic violence. Plus, a look inside Depp's LA penthouse with police body camera footage.
Who's Amber? You, okay, and Johnny?
Is definitely not here.
And later, did witnesses see any injuries on Amber Heard?
I just don't remember seeing any marks, bruises, or anything.
We are live in Fairfax, Virginia to break down the latest testimony. Law&Crime Daily covering court cases from coast to coast. Welcome everyone to Law&Crime Daily. I'm your host, Brian Buckmeyer. Jurors in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial get a look inside the couple's penthouse on a critical date in the case. That glimpse is through police body camera footage. Law&Crime's Angela Levy is here with the footage and the officer's testimony.
Well, Brian, there were actually 2 police calls to the penthouse on the evening of May 21st, 2016. That is the night that Johnny Depp went to the penthouse to collect some of his belongings and to tell Amber Heard that the marriage was over. 6 days later, Amber Heard went to court claiming that Johnny Depp had hit her in the face with an iPhone that night. She appeared at the courthouse with a mark on her face. So here's some body camera footage from the second police call from that evening.
We got another call. I don't know if it's related to the same call from earlier or if somebody called again. Probably. We just need to check. One of you guys know someone in New York or something?
Yeah, she probably called twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to talk to your wife to make sure.
Oh, it's not my wife.
Okay.
Different conversation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, whoever it is, man, you gotta check on make sure they're all good.
I'll go get the business card from the cops.
Yeah, I don't know. Just because we got another call and we came again, we still gotta make sure.
Back up. Please, back up.
We'll just come in and just check. We need to make sure everything in here.
The other officers came by and checked the statement and the address plate as well.
Yeah.
It must have been like a double call.
Okay. Who's Amber? You? Okay. And Johnny?
Is definitely not here.
He's not here? Okay.
That's probably like 2 hours ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Everything's all good then?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, the officers from the first police call, both of them testified that they had not yet received body-worn cameras the evening of this call. So that second set of officers, those are the 2 who had those body-worn cameras. And all of the officers, their videotape depositions played today for the jury. And they discussed why they didn't believe there was any evidence of a crime and why they didn't fill out police reports.
Did you see anything that you would say was in disarray?
I did not.
During that second protective sweep, did you see anything that made you believe there had been a crime committed?
I did not.
So what did you determine this call was after your investigation?
Dispute, a verbal dispute. It's not against the law to argue. I argue with my wife.
So you decided that there was only a verbal dispute, therefore it didn't constitute domestic violence?
From the information or lack of information I was able to receive from the witness and the information my partner gathered, yes. I would need additional information. Just because I see a female with pink cheeks and pink eyes doesn't mean that something happened. They should be sad and crying that their dog died.
Now, both of those officers said they did not see any type of red mark or an injury on Amber Heard's face or really any other part of her body. They said that any redness they saw on her face appeared to be from her crying. And they described the people with her, along with her, as being uncooperative. And Officer Sines, one of the first officers on the first call, said that they had no clue that this apartment belonged to Johnny Depp when they arrived. Brian?
Now, Anjanette, as you said, we know the police arrived days before Heard accused Depp of abuse. But how does this incident connect with the defamation case as a whole?
Well, if you think about it, Brian, this is where the whole thing, this is where it stems from. Like, this is like the seed from which this whole issue kind of sprouts up out of the ground. It starts with May 21st, and then the 6 days later, the May 27th claim of domestic abuse with the courts. That's when it becomes public. And then Amber Heard, when she writes that op-ed in 2018, she refers to becoming a public figure 2 years prior, representing domestic abuse. So she's referring to that. So while it may still be a high hurdle for Johnny Depp to prove defamation, this is where it starts. This is the starting point for the 2018 op-ed, because if she had never done the TRO or any of that stuff, it would never have been public, and she would never have been a public figure representing domestic abuse.
Makes sense. Now, speaking of other litigation, Anjanette, Depp's libel case in the United Kingdom supposedly dismantled this testimony from the officers. That didn't seem to happen here. Why do you think that is?
Well, this was decided, of course, by a judge in the UK, and the system is different there. I actually spoke with a reporter from the UK today about the differences, and the judge there felt that they didn't do their job, that they didn't do their due diligence and didn't dig far enough. So that question is really going to be for the jury to answer here in the United States, Brian.
All right, stick with us, Anjanette. We'll be right back with you. Thank you. Still ahead on Law and Crime Daily, our live Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial coverage continues. Hear from a talent agent that represented both Depp and Heard. Does he believe the Washington Post op-ed tanked Depp's career? Welcome back. Our Johnny Depp Amber Heard coverage continues with testimony from a talent agent who represented the couple. Via video deposition, Christian Carino says he believed Depp lost out on Pirate 6 because of Heard's accusations.
Do you believe that Mr. Depp is still a shroud of mystery, not visible to the public?
No,
And when did that change?
I don't know exactly when.
Would you say it was cumulative over the period of time as a result of all of the litigation and the publicity ensuing?
Probably. Agree with that.
Is there any one specific litigation that you believe most significantly impacted on Mr. Depp's personal reputation no longer being a shroud of mystery and not visible to the public?
My opinion is that Amber's accusations would have had the most dramatic impact on his off-screen reputation. I'm not talking about any one specific accusation.
When you say Amber's accusations, what do you mean by that?
I mean the things that she's accused Johnny of doing, both in that have been made public.
Joining us today is criminal defense attorney Bernardo Villalona, co-host Terry Austin, and Law and Crime correspondent Anjanette Levy. Bernardo, Carino's testimony really ties the alleged abuse to the claim that Depp lost because of the op-ed. Do you think this witness made out Depp's $50 million claim?
So I was a bit disappointed, Brian, in his testimony because he seemed like he did not want to be bothered. He definitely did not want to speak. He did not want to be questioned. It was like he was just like dusting or brushing us off in terms of the questions that were being posed to him, despite this being a civil lawsuit, even though he had the most powerful information that he could have gave, and that is providing damages in this case, especially given that he's been a talent agent for so many years. He's been in the business for so many years. So he knows what can make or break someone in this industry. And he knows that what Amber Heard had said was very powerful in destroying his career, in the sense that people did not want to be bothered with Johnny Depp and almost blacklisted him, because when a movie wants to be filmed, they want to hear about the movie when they're marketing and not about the actor's private life.
Yeah. Now, Tara, this was a video deposition, but both sides got to question him in that video. So how do you think Carino fared on cross-examination? Was Heard's attorneys able to show there was something else that damaged Depp's career?
Well, I agree that Christian Carino was a bit on the hesitant side, but I do think that he maintained his ground. I do not think that Heard's team made a lot of points. What Carino basically said is that Depp's reputation as an artist held up, but his personal reputation did not. And that personal reputation absolutely hurt his professional. It said basically that he did not get Pirate 6 because of the fact that these accusations harmed him. And he was able to point specifically to emails, et cetera, and texts where he didn't get the job based on that article. So I think basically that Depp's team did a good job as far as Christian Carino's deposition was concerned.
Yeah. Now, Anjanette, that's what we're seeing from behind the screens, but you're there on the ground. So what's your takeaway from Wednesday's video deposition?
You know, I think there was a lot of really interesting information in that deposition. You have to keep in mind, obviously this is about the defamation, but he had a lot more, or the alleged defamation, he had a lot more to offer. He talked about Amber Heard wanting to reconcile with Johnny Depp, even after she filed for that domestic relations restraining order, the domestic violence restraining order. She said that he arranged that meeting in 2016 in San Francisco in the summer, and that she wanted to get back together with Depp. And it sounds like Johnny Depp did not want to get back together with Amber Heard. And she also claimed to be filling time by dating Elon Musk. And she had complained to him when the relationship with Elon Musk ended that, you know, she didn't like these things being so public. And Carino said to her, well, if you don't like your private life being in the public, quit dating famous men.
Absolutely. Well, Anjanette, great reporting on the ground as always. Thank you very much. Coming up on Law and Crime Daily, we take a closer look at an alleged altercation between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Did Heard show signs of abuse? Hear video testimony from the front desk worker at Depp's Los Angeles penthouse when we come back. We continue our coverage now in the multi-million-dollar defamation suit of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. On Wednesday, jurors are shown the video deposition of Alejandro Romero, the front desk manager of the Eastern Columbia building. He testified how Heard appeared in the days following an alleged domestic violence incident.
I'm asking specifically, I did not notice any bruises, cuts, swelling, red marks, or any other injuries of any kind to Ms. Heard's face. Who wrote that?
That's what I said. I didn't see any marks or bruises on her face. That's what I said.
But
they asked me if I remember seeing anything. I said, I just don't recall seeing any marks or bruises because she was just sitting in front of me. I just don't remember seeing anything. Just don't remember. How it would have been so obvious, like someone had like a black eye, I would have like, whoa, you know, I would have seen that and I would have remembered because it's something that you will see. You know, like so noticeable, like you will remember. But when I was there talking to her, she was like 3 feet away from me. She was right in front of me. I just don't remember seeing any marks, bruises, or anything.
Would it be fair to say that you cannot testify one way or the other whether Amber Heard was domestically abused by Johnny Depp on May 21, 2016?
I cannot say that. I would not agree to testify against anyone of domestic violence because I was not there. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. I was not there. I was never there. I was probably hundreds of miles away and got no idea what happened that day.
Terry, so far everyone who has testified said they did not see Heard's injuries. Do you think there's a logical explanation Heard will give for why, and what could that be?
Well, yes, there are two logical explanations. The first one is that she's going to try to say that the officers who were involved didn't look carefully, and she's going to say that others, like Alejandro Romero, who is now my favorite witness, just basically didn't see her at the time of the incident. As far as the officers are concerned, I think that they absolutely did a good look around. They tried to make sure she was protected. They asked questions. They were not cooperating with the police, and so they didn't even file a report. As far as Alejandro's concerned, he didn't want to be there either. He basically said, look, you already asked me this. I told you I was right there. I was in front of her. I looked at her in her eyes. She didn't have anything on her face. Why are you asking me this? I don't want to be involved. And I loved his sincerity, and I think the jury loved him as well.
Yeah. Bernardo, maybe this is a little bit of me playing devil's advocate, but domestic abuse often happens behind closed doors, away from the public eye. So how much credit should the jury give these witnesses for not seeing the aftermath of something that tends to happen in private?
And so I think, Brian, it depends on the witness. And I say it depends on the witness because a lot of these witnesses that are being called to see if they can corroborate that there were injuries or a lack of injuries afterwards. Because obviously we know Mr. Romero was not inside of the house where both Depp and Amber Heard were living in, and actually when this happened, if it happened. So none of these witnesses are really being called in to testify about that. But to be able to say, look, after something happened, you don't know what happened, but did you see anything on the person's face? Because that's what we'll call corroboration, especially when we're dealing with he say, she say. It's like, what else can you bring in to corroborate what's coming out of Amber Heard's mouth? But here we don't have it. And Mr. Romero came off so credible. I think he was a great witness. Unfortunately, for those attorneys, it was not worth the squeeze.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And we are continuing to follow the retrial of Billy Chemirmir here at the Law&Crime Network. He's the man officials say killed more than 18 elderly women in the Dallas, Texas area between 2016 and 2018. This trial focuses on the death of Lou Harris. Chemirmir is accused of smothering her with a pillow in order to steal her jewelry and other valuables. According to authorities, Chemirmir would pose as a maintenance or healthcare worker to gain access to the victims' homes. Officials say one woman Chemirmir allegedly attacked survived, Mary Bartell. That incident led officials to the defendant, and they say it ultimately helped connect him to Harris's murder. Jurors heard from Bartell via video deposition on Monday. On Tuesday, a Dallas police officer testified to discovering Harris's body and finding keys to her house inside Chemirmir's car when he was arrested. Chemirmir's defense previously argued that there is no evidence that puts him at the scene of the crime. When we come back, the deadly Rush shooting. Months after Alec Baldwin fired a gun on set, body camera footage shows the chilling moments after the incident. Welcome back. Newly released body camera footage shows a scruffy Alec Baldwin during his first interaction with deputies after the shooting of Helena Hutchins on his Rust movie set in New Mexico last year. Hutchins, the film's cinematographer, died after a prop gun held by Baldwin fired during rehearsals on set in October. There's been contention surrounding the incident as officials have not charged anyone. Hutchins' family filed a lawsuit against Baldwin, who's an actor and producer of the film. And recently, the state's OSHA fined Rust Productions $137,000 for safety violations on set. This week, the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office released a slew of investigative files, including photos, videos, and audio interviews. Alongside the footage from several of officers' body camera footage, the Sheriff's Office released police interview footage showing the moment police told Baldwin Hutchins had died.
No one presumes she was shot with a bullet. Any projectile went through her body. No one even considered that wasn't possible. All I knew was the gun went off, she hit the floor, he hit the floor, he started screaming. He was in a lot of pain. She went into shock. When she went down, I thought, what was stuck? We all said the same thing. What was stuck in the barrel? There was something left. They didn't clean the barrel. I mean, literally, I'm holding the gun, and let me slowly pull, turn, cock, bang. And as soon as I cock it, bang!
I do have some very unfortunate news to tell you.
What?
She didn't make it.
No.
Yeah. So Joel's still at the hospital, but the other person involved didn't make it.
Bernarda, as a former homicide prosecutor, you must have seen countless people react to finding out they've killed someone. What are you looking for to gauge whether Baldwin's reaction is authentic, and do you think it is?
So usually you want to gauge, first off, you want to get some background information as to what happened. So here in looking at Alec Baldwin, I believe that his reaction was genuine, and genuine because he didn't believe, nor did anyone else believe, that the gun was loaded with an actual live projectile. So I saw his reaction to be genuine. It's a different case every time, but in this case, he was genuine.
Yeah. Now, Terry, do you think Baldwin's reaction in the new video footage will change the outcome of any civil or potential criminal litigation?
You know, while I think it shows us that he is being genuine, Bernarda is correct about that, and that it was a horrible event, and it's something that I think everybody regrets. I don't think it's going to change the result of any of the civil litigation, and I don't think it's going to change the result of the criminal litigation. You know, he's being sued, and the producers are being sued for negligence, and I think to determine whether he's negligent or not, they're going to have to determine whether or not what was going on that set was reasonable. The wrongful death action, same issue, negligence. Was there negligence on that set? Has nothing to do with how Alec might have reacted to what occurred. And I don't think it's going to affect criminal charges either.
All right, interesting to see how it plays out. Definitely be used in an argument in some way, shape, or form. Well, thank you both. And thank you for joining us here on Law and Crime Daily. We'll see you next time as we discuss justice in America.